Oh shit. I'm in drive. Hello world. Hey look, we're gonna see if my phone stayed there. Where are you going? Because I want to talk about like the vehicle. What you drive. I don't know if I posted it the other day. I don't even care anymore because if whoever, don't even matter. It doesn't matter where you are on any scale of, of knowing some shit's lies or the woke nation, quote unquote, whatever. It ain't gonna stop this machine, man. This machine that we got. Listen, I posted pictures of those hey Eagle, Chicken Hawk, of those electric vehicles in 1906. Yeah, and electric scooters. You remember those like bumper cars? I was catching the latter end of them, but I think they were big in like the early 1900s, probably 1800s, and then you'd get in them and they had the big antenna all the way up to the roof of the building or the ceiling. Well, it's magnetic. It's how it ran off of that shit. But anyways, it's like the anatomy. Our bodies are a vehicle. It's a vessel. It's water. It's 70% water. And that, like with my gauges right here, I've got a fuel tank and I've got a temperature gauge. And you'll have a oil gauge. We got RPMs. And it's cold and hot. Well, that's positive and negative. That's blue shift and red shift. That's your blue skies and your red sunrise and sunsets and orange. Red more than anything. But what we're looking at is the stomach. Well, I mean, their commercials say what? Shows them all exercise and you gotta have the right fuel. You gotta have the right calories. Yeah. Gotta have all that. And okay. So what would the tank be? That'd be your stomach. The fuel that you're gonna consume. This is your mouth. The mouth of the vehicle is gonna be where you put the gas in. It's where you put your high octane fluids in to get the vehicle going, to burn more calories. Do you understand what I'm saying? This vehicle has body parts. I mean, you go to the body parts store. Well, what is the human anatomy made of? Of body parts. They go to the body shop, the cars. Well, you could say that doctor's offices and shit like that, that's the body shop. Because it is. It's where we go get worked on the body. It's the same principle. The battery underneath the hood of this car, those terminals, that's what's inside of my brain. That's positive and negative. Hot and cold, temperature. When a vehicle gets to acting up, do we say it catches a cold? It caught the flu? No, you can't say that. Something happened internally. Cars can't catch germs. When you find out that vehicles are made from you and me, it's what we're made of. The battery, it's what we are. It's all these wires, that's the veins and arteries and shit in it. It's got a circuit board, or switchboard. That's where the switchboard is. Your thermometer is the spinal cord because heat rises. And just like this vehicle, when it overheats, it's going to what? Spew water and shit. Well, or antifreeze. Well, when you overheat, That's the thing is the same way a vehicle overheats is the same way a human being will overheat. It's the same thing. The vehicle didn't catch anything. One of the parts, something internally is wrong. Because it's the human anatomy. It's a vehicle. You're a vehicle. I'm driving. What I'm doing now is it's a shipping term. Driving. Shipping. I'm on the high sea because we're under maritime admiralty law. But the syringe comes from the spinal cord. Yeah. If people actually knew, the computer comes from us. But listen, here's the deal. The cerebrum is the motor. The cerebellum is the transmission. One uses a thick oil, one uses a thinner oil. Well, the sacral plexus, the bottom of your spinal cord, produces a thick oil. The solar plexus, the middle, here's where anyways, you've got a thick and a thin oil. Pretty sure it's in the solar, it's in the middle, or it's a little above the sacral. It doesn't matter. This oil that's inside of you, it's pumped up your spinal column. Same way oil's pumped up out of the earth. You don't know that shit. And the same oil that runs this vehicle, the thick and thin, is the same oil that's in your motor and transmission fluid. Motor fluid, motor oil, transmission fluid. And this oil that's inside of us, some of it's refined like coal. The other like petrol or some other shit. You know, and when that oil in this vehicle is not pure and it's not good, what's it going to do to the vehicle? It's going to make it run like shit. Well, the human being, which is us, since we don't even know that we have oil in us and everything that we consume squanders the oil, look at us. The vehicle runs like what? Like shit. Man, listen, you have more percentage of people. And listen, this is not to be a dick towards you. I love you. Your vehicle, which is you, is running on fumes. It's not going to be too long until one of those body parts is going to shut down. And that's why there's so many heart attacks, strokes. It's not because it just happened. It's because the vehicle and the driver, you or that individual, doesn't know that a lifetime it's been guided down was to be poisoned and for that vehicle to shut down. These body parts, you know, I mean, hell, you have certain body parts in the vehicle, when one goes down, the other, or starts messing up, the others have to compensate harder to make it. Same thing inside of you. And then eventually what? Boom! Then eventually inside of us, boom! The exhaust is the mouth of this vehicle. This is the exhaust. What's going to happen if you put something over the exhaust pipe, the muffler? What's going to happen? What would happen if we put something over it to where it could still, you know, get some out? It's going to slow it down. Excuse me. It's going to slow it down. And then eventually it's just going to shut it down. That's what I'm talking about with the mask. See, when you're not taught about the human anatomy and what you're made of, this is easy to get away with. It's easy. You don't learn anything. Nothing. What we bring is you would have to go against everything that you've been programmed with from birth, and that shit ain't gonna happen. And that's why it's so hard, because depending on how old you are, most people can't handle the shit. They can't handle the real truth, because they think whatever they're in is real, and it's not. It's not real. All ships are referred to as mothers. Mothership, mother load. Moms carry a load, a baby, mother load. You know why? Well, when the ships are coming in the port, they come down the canal, the water canal. Well, they're bringing cargo. It's going to make a lot of money for that company. Well, that baby's coming down a vaginal canal. It's going to make a lot of money for this company because it's cargo. It's going, the woman's going to give birth from the doctor. The ship's going to the dock at its berth. B-E-R-T-H. Yeah. Both of them, when the cargo's on land, it's existing now. So now it's documented. And it is given numbers. And then it's taxed and all that other shit because it's making a lot of money. Well, that little baby's going to be taxed too. It's got a number 2 and it's going to be followed forever. Don't pay your taxes and you're going to go to their prison when they never even had to pay for nothing in the first place. Dude, listen, these people created us. It's hard. I know it's hard to accept, but they created a whole new mindset. It's ugly and it's disgusting. You know, if you're a mechanic, dude, just hearing small shit from what I say, if you're a mechanic, you could know more than a fucking brain doctor. Yeah, I'll show you some shit, because the ones making all that money don't even know the ones above them are controlling them. Yeah, you don't know anything. Listen, thousands of years ago, they were way fucking smarter than we are, buddy. Way smarter. Way more intelligent. You know, they've poisoned us. They've never taught us about what we're made of. They took my video off Facebook of me talking about, I think it was Stalin and them, all those pictures. Why can't I teach a history lesson? Because I go against their guidelines? They're guiding their own line? Yeah, I know. They ain't gonna never. Listen, if we had 1,000 people be like, fuck it, let's go to the state capitol. Dude, you would see these Jesuits come out of nowhere. You'd see them, dude. They'd go crazy. Because it's not even them. It'd be people that be working for them, these under them. Because they're part of this clique and they have to put their work in, but they don't know that they're going up against the baddest motherfucker on earth. I know. I hate it. I ain't the only one that can see it. But see, this personal for me because some personal shit happened in one of those fucking structures. You know, and if family don't want to listen, then fuck it, they ain't gonna listen. Hey, the wheels ain't gonna stop on this wagon. They ain't gonna stop. We're gonna hold court on the fucking street when it's all said and done. I can tell you that shit. That's sovereignty right there. That's saying fuck y'all. Go inside, man! You're scaring us! It's like, you need to throw them fucking TVs out the window. All of you. You don't even know where you're at. You don't even know who you are. You don't know what you're made of. You have no idea what flows in your lungs, the air, and how important it is to breathe that shit in. Fresh air every day. At all. This is so gross, but I have to have care for you because you're so adolescent with your thinking because the thinking has been drilled into you your whole life. And it's disgusting. But once you figure out the damn vehicle is your anatomy, then you'll start to piece it together, and it's like, holy shit. Because the positive and negative terminals, that's your sympathetic nervous system, the Ida and the Pingala nerve. Pingala, the pineal, Ida, pituitary. Comes out of all that. You know, one's left side, one's the right side, your pupils. Okay, when we're looking at the pupil, you have the whole 12 constellations from top all the way around in both sides. This eye controls this side, this eye controls this side. So I'm trying to tell you, in the old days, real Gnostic Christendom, could look at your pupil, at your eyeball, and say, hey, you need this herb, you need this plant, you need this. Dang, how could you tell that from your pupils? Iridology is what it's called. And they got rid of that science. That real... I trust science, Matt! You've been on pills your whole life. You have been under the influence of Satan your whole fucking life. You were born into hospitals, waiting rooms, TVs, newspapers, magazines. They is already there. And just like a child, it is programmed into you from day one, and you morph into that shit. And then these small churches, they just go off the... Oh, damn, wish we were like them. See what you've done trying to look up to other fuckers. Anything outside of God is an idol. And look at what they've created. A world of idol worship. You know, I mean, there ain't no coming out of it. You can say I'm fucking crazy all you want to, but there ain't nothing nobody can say. We have lasers, infrared. We can tell you how you are an image of God. And then you take up and say, no, we're not. We're a likeness, Matt, because you're wrong. I'd stay in that shit too if I was wrong. Some people that know that I have, that reached out to me, have been like, you need to let it go. Let them people go on blind. And it's like, fuck no, them are my people. They can hate me all they want, but when I'm dead and gone, then they fucking wake up. It's funny in that song, she says, it's funny when you're dead, people start listening. And ain't that the motherfucking truth? It's sad because there's so many people that are scared shitless because they have allowed a box generationally into their subconscious, to the eye of God, the pineal gland. That's, you know, oil. Christ is oil too. And then we use Crisco oil that destroys the cell salts in us. And Crisco comes from Christos, Christ. So put that shit together. Yeah, here you go. Here's some Crisco, because oil congealed is Crisco. Fuck it. We're getting into big wordplay, because that's what sorcerers do, is they give you words in an environment. See, when we were reset and you know, whenever they filled these cities back up, they burned them down and then repopulated them. You know, the slaves, the inner cities and all that's the plantations. The commerce birth certificate is nothing more than we're livestock. We're slaves, worse slaves now than ever. And don't say we're not. Look at society, you know, and what they did is they've had existing structures in these cities, as you know now. They're gone now. But throughout centuries, they would, you know, use those people as energy and live off of them. And like now, we're changing ages. At the end of was it Matthew? Yeah, at the end of Matthew, Jesus says, I'll be with you until the end of the age, until the end of the world. That's what people think. It's like, no, that's the world. It's like, no, an age in a world is every 2160 years. Yeah, that's something that them false prophets fail to tell you because of the will of God, which is the zodiac. It's the zodiac. He's telling us, he said, I'm going to be with you. And he's still with us, but there's nothing he can do now. It's up to you. Okay? You have to make the decision. Am I trapped? Am I in a world that's not real? Or are you going to keep going along with any fucking thing that they put out in front of you? Here you go. Play with this. And it's stupid. Every fucking app is a game. And that's the people's brains. It's go work your slave job, get your wages. Slaves got wages. And then go fuck off. And don't ever question shit. And they call the people that believe in globe shit globies. Globey. Obey. Obey. It's fucking crazy. It's like, y'all, you can see it. Them blue skies is beautiful. It's because there's a fucking vault up there and there's a ceiling. So it's what it is. Look into Operation Fishbowl. You're in a big fishbowl. Pink Floyd. You're swimming in a fishbowl. And they tell you, Red Hot Chili Peppers, space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Who gives you the movies is who gives us space. Same people who own Hollywood own the news stations. They own the newspapers, the magazines, the universities, the fucking hospitals, the banks. They own it all. That's how they control all this. Everything happening is by design. Shit. Here comes somebody. Hey, man. Can I get $1? And it's like, you're going to work for it. Oh, fuck you. It's like, yeah, that's why you're homeless. It's like, there's shit to do, but people make a lot of money being homeless, so I can't knock them. I love you.